This song is for someone I wish was here. And he kind of is anyway. Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I saw the Beatles play at the Hammersmith Odeon when I was at bottom of the bill in the Yardbirds. They seemed to move together and think together. It was almost like a little family unit. I was very, very suspicious about what they were up to. But when I saw them play, I mean, I was overwhelmed by their gift. They were very generous to everybody. I mean, they took time to come and talk to everybody. He was clearly an innovator. George, to me, was taking certain elements and creating something unique.
But that's the moment when he realizes he's transcended and been somewhere, which is the same in meditation. Sometimes I think great people can project their greatness. They don't have to shout about it. The concert Eric Clapton at the Rainbow. Watching the concert, I was so aware of Eric. All he did was he had his eyes closed and he was playing some fantastic guitar and his foot was tapping. The thing was that the magic was coming out of Eric's soul or whatever through his guitar. And it was at that point where he just looked like an angel.
You know, we've always just been kind of supportive to each other as friends.
Yeah, I think it's just the knowledge. When you've got a kind of good friendship, that just the knowledge that it exists is enough to help you through. I think what George might have liked about me was the fact that I was a kind of free agent. And I think, if anything, he may have already been wondering about whether he was in the right place being in a group, you know, because the group politic is a tricky one. You know, there was a lot about what he had going, which I envied, and there was a lot about what I had going that he envied. In the beginning, in the early days, what was good about being George's friend was that it was kind of like basking in the sunshine of this immense creativity.
What did he have going that you envied?
Well, I suppose Beatles. Man, come on. The pros and cons of being in a band like that were massively extreme. You know, there were times when it was like closest knit family you've ever seen in your life. But as that can be too, the cruelty and the viciousness was unparalleled.
It was crap, you know. We were trying to do the song and it wasn't happening. You know, they weren't taking it serious, and I don't think they were even all playing on it. And so I went home that night and I just thought, well, that's a shame, because I know this song's pretty good.
I used to see George quite a lot, just for fun.
I was driving into London with Eric, And I said, hey, what are you doing? Why don't you come to the studio and, play on this song for me?
It was very spontaneous. We were actually in his car.
Yeah,
we
drove into London in my car.
And you said, oh, do you want to come and play on this record? I went, all right.
He said, oh, no, nobody's ever played on a Beatle record. They won't like that.
And he says, oh, no, I can't do that. Nobody's ever played on a Beatles record, and, the others wouldn't like that. And I said, well, odd luck, it's my song, and I'd like you to play on it.
And I said, yeah, it's nothing to do with them, it's my song. And so we came.
Yeah, and we did While My Guitar Gently Weeps. It was a great moment.
I just felt like in love, but not with anything in particular or anybody. Just with everything. Everything was perfect.
Do you ever think what it would be like to be in the Beatles?
Yeah.
Mr. Harrison, with all of the enormous problems in the world, how did you happen to choose this one to do something about?
Because I was asked by a friend if I'd help, that's all.
I'd just like to say before we start off with the concert, to thank you all for coming here. Something in the way she moved.
It was a question of phoning really just the friends that I knew and see who was available to turn up. I spent 1 month just telephoning people. I think the most memorable thing really was the fact that it came off and that it worked.
It was an immense success artistically. And, again, I use the word spiritually because he decided he would use this great ability he had for another reason.
These things will always be remembered as times that we could be proud of being musicians, And we actually just weren't thinking of ourselves for 5 minutes. We were doing something for a bigger issue. And we need that, I think we shared a lot of tastes too, in other, superficial things, cars or clothes, but and women, obviously.
And then, of course, Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
Now, obviously you've known each other
How
forever.
did I get to meet him?
No, but how did you meet? No, how did you decide?
We shared the same wife.
But she's a very inspirational lady, she's a dear friend of both of us. She still figures in our lives, but...
It's so wonderful
確か Wonderful Tonight という曲も
Yeah, I wrote that.
That was about his manager, Roger.
You and Eric have been best friends for many, many years.
Yeah.
And Eric wound up marrying your ex-wife, and you were best man at that wedding, and all remained friendly. So most people go, these people are extraordinary.
Well, they did get married years later. At first, Eric thought, he went a bit strange just momentarily. He thought that we ought to have a fight or something, but it wasn't like that. And we're still the best of friends, and actually better than ever now. Eric, I've been friends with Eric for years, and I think I always will be. He's a lovely fella, and I love him very dearly.
There was this amazing sunset, just orange sky. And he said, that is what I want to do. Now, somebody might say, what? What do you want to do? He wanted to be able to create that sunset.
It was one of those beautiful spring mornings. I think it was April. We were just walking around the garden with our guitars. And that was the thing. I don't do that, I'd only ever do... This was what George brought to the situation. He was just a magical guy. And we walked around the garden. We sat down at the bottom of the garden looking out over the... And the sun was shining, and it was a beautiful morning. And he started to sing. Started to sing "Here Comes the Sun," and the opening lines, and I just watched this thing come to life.
I had a dream when I saw him. That was what I said to him in the dream. So I guess that's what would be the question, wouldn't it? Where have you been since I last saw you? And he answered it, so I can tell you the answer as well, which is here the whole time.
Then I went to see him. And he was very ill. It was the last words I heard him say, actually. And he said, do you want me to come with you? Oh, God. So, you know, that's the incredible side of George. God, it's like Barbara fucking Walters here, isn't it? You know?
Is there anything you'd say to George if he was around today?
Fancy a cup of tea?